G'day music fans, Mark here from AustralianMusicHistory.com. Picture this, it's 1989 and a bloke from Alice Springs, known for shredding guitar and cold chisel, steps up with a solo belter called Tucker's Daughter. Ian Moss, with a little help from mate Don Walker, crafts a tune that's tough, tender and pure Aussie. It's the kind of song you'd hear blasting from a pub jukebox or a dusty ute radio. If you love the stories behind our greatest hits, you're in the right place. Subscribe and hit that bell for more. Today, we're looking at Tucker's Daughter, how it climbed to number one, won big at the ARIAs, and captured the late 80s vibe. Let's dive in. So how did Tucker's Daughter come to life? After Cold Chisel split in 1983, Ian Moss took a breather. Jimmy Barnes went solo and smashed it, but Moss waited, forming his own band in 1986 and then heading to LA to sift through song ideas. He'd been Cold Chisel's secret weapon, laying down those iconic riffs, but now it was his turn to shine. In late 1988, he teamed up with Don Walker, Cold Chisel's lyrical genius, to write this track. Moss sent Walker a cassette from LA with the melody and a few words, and a rough placeholder. If the rumour is true, apparently just, "Hey there, motherfucker," on repeat. Walker laughed it off, kept the vibe, and turned it into a story about a farmhand dodging the boss's daughter. Released in November '88 on Mushroom Records, catalogue K690, it was the lead single for Moss's debut album Matchbook. Recorded at Ocean Way Studios in LA, it came out just as Australia was ready for something fresh yet familiar. Moss called it a nerve-wracking leap, his first solo crack after years in a band. And mate, did it pay off? Let's talk charts, because Tucker's Daughter didn't mess around. It hit the ARIA charts on January 23, 1989, and took off like a rocket. By March 20th, it was number one, knocking the Proclaimers' "I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles" off the top. A Scottish earworm replaced by an Aussie growl. It held the crown for 1 week before Fine Young Cannibals' "She Drives Me Crazy" swooped in. But here's the thing, it didn't just peak and vanish. The song hung around for 24 weeks, a solid 6 months of airplay, landing at number 6 on the year-end ARIA Top 100. Then came the 1990 ARIA Awards. Tucker's Daughter was up for 3 gongs: Single of the Year, Breakthrough Artist, and Single and Song of the Year. It took home 2, Breakthrough and Song of the Year, proving Moss wasn't just Cold Chisel's guitarist anymore. For a debut single, that's a bloody triumph. Why did it strike a chord? Let's zoom out to 1989. Australia was in flux. Bob Hawke was Prime Minister, the economy was wobbling, and we were figuring out who we were post-bicentennial. Pub rock was king. Cold Chisel, The Angels, Midnight Oil, but the charts had room for pop and imports too. Tucker's Daughter bridged that gap. It had the raw edge of a live gig, but with the polish that radio couldn't resist. And Moss's years with Cold Chisel gave him cred, but this was new. His voice front and centre, not just his axe. The song's story, a worker brushing off the rich girl, felt like an Aussie yarn too. Think dusty plains, hard yakka, and a bit of cheek. It came out when Aussies were craving homegrown heroes, and not just overseas acts. And with Matchbox hitting number 1 later that year, selling over 200,000 copies, it was clear Moss had tapped into something real. What makes Tucker's Daughter tick? It's a masterclass in balance. Moss's guitar kicks in with this bluesy, rootsy riff, simple but sharp, like a cold beer on a hot day. Then his voice slides in, gravelly yet soulful, carrying lines like, "Build me up, tear me down." Don Walker's lyrics paint the scene. A bloke caught in a tug of war he didn't ask for. Produced by Chris Lord Alge, it's got that late 80s sheen, crisp drums, a touch of reverb, but never loses its grit. The video, shot with Tasma Walton as the daughter, adds a cinematic vibe. Wide fields, a lone figure, Moss strumming under a big sky. It's not flashy like glam rock or synth-heavy pop. It's honest, rugged, and bloody catchy. So what's its legacy? Tucker's Daughter launched Ian Moss as a solo star. Matchbook cleaned up at the 1990 ARIAs. 5 wins, including Album of the Year, and Moss proved he could stand tall without Cold Chisel. The song's still a staple. Triple M ranked it as number 99 in their 2018 Ozzest 100 list of all-time Aussie tracks. It's the kind of tune that pops up at a barbecue or a road trip, and everyone knows the words. For Moss, it was a beginning. He's kept playing, touring, and recording. Matchbook's 30th anniversary live set in 2019 shows he's still got it. Tucker's Daughter isn't just a hit, it's a marker of an artist stepping up and a sound that's pure late 80s Australia. So that's the story of Tucker's Daughter, a debut that roared to number 1 and stayed in our ears. Love this? Hit like, share it with your crew, and subscribe for more Aussie music tales. Did you catch this on the radio back in '89, or is it new to you? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. Next time, we're cracking open another classic, so stick around. See you, legends.